Alrighty, folks, it is Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. And we're coming fresh off another winning day of plays on my premium page yesterday. We went 4-1 in our 5 plays yesterday for Monday. We cashed in on the Brewers, Phillies on the alternate run line, Tigers on the alt run line as well. We also cashed in on the Astros money line. And the only way you could have accessed all those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive Gold Club membership. Gold Club members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And folks, great news. We're also coming into today with a 6-0 record in our last 6 chairman plays. And the good news is I've got another chairman play going off here today for Tuesday. That play's already posted and ready for access in the post section. Of course, that package is included with the Gold Club membership. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my free pick video here today for Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. Happy Tuesday to you. Hopefully you had a great start to the new week. And if you're joining me for the first time here today, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. Folks, I also have plenty of free content on my premium page as well. That includes my current overall win-loss record. Don't have to pay to access that. All you got to do is go to the post section and scroll down until you find it. I currently have over 2,600 members who are signed up and active on my premium page as of right now. Once again, folks, we are 6-0 in our last 6 chairman plays on that premium page. And with that, folks, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. Going to start off with the Astros at the Marlins. 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Miami's minus 120, totals 9 runs. Cal Quantrill for the Marlins. Stephen Okert possible for Houston. And if Okert does get the nod, pretty good stuff this year out of him. He comes into today's matchup with an ERA in the 2s along with a .81 whip. Of course, the lefties also punched out 59 batters and 49 plus innings of work. And that's really not overly surprising. This Houston pitching staff leads the league in strikeouts per game on the mound. They're also limiting opposing batters to just 3.8 runs a game on the road. And that's certainly bad news for Marlins bettors because these guys have definitely struggled at Lone Depot Park. They're a bottom 5 run-scoring team in their own building. And because of that lack of run support, the Marlins do have a losing record on their own field. Now, 6 out of the Marlins' last 10 ball games did stay under the total. Nearly 60% of their home games this year stayed under the number as well. I like the Astros plus $1. Under 9. Twins, Tigers, 640 East. Detroit's minus 140, totals 9. Chris Paddock for the Tigers. Zebby Matthews for Minnesota. Now, Zeb comes into today's matchup with just 2 wins on the year, as well as a losing record. And as a team, the Twins dropped 7 out of their last 9. And they averaged only 3.9 runs a game on the road. And out of 18 contests against divisional opponents away from home, the Twins currently have just a .333 win percentage. And they're facing a Detroit squad on the other side who's actually played quite well against the AL Central themselves. Detroit's 19-9 against divisional opponents this year, and they've been a tough team to hit against at Comerica Park. Tigers limit opposing teams to just 3.9 runs a game in their own building. And starting pitcher Chris Paddock, he looked good in his Detroit debut. 150 ERA through a handful of innings with the Tigers. Of course, as a team, the Tigers got the W in 6 out of their last 8. They allowed under 3.1 runs per contest during that stretch. When it comes to the total, 60% of Detroit's divisional home games did stay under the number. Minnesota's gone 18-10 to the under against the AL Central themselves. I like the Tigers minus 140, under 9. All right, Giants, Tigers, 6:40 Eastern start. San Francisco's $1.55, totals 8. Mike Burrows for the Pirates, Logan Webb for San Francisco. And as good as Webb's been, he's recorded 8 losses on the year. Giants have definitely had their hands full on the road. They have a losing record in their travels, and they struggled at the plate in those road games. They're averaging nearly double-digit strikeouts a game in their travels. Just 7.8 hits a game in those contests. And they're facing a Pittsburgh pitching staff who's definitely thrown well at PNC Park. They're limiting visiting teams to just 3.6 runs a game. And because of that, the Bucs are actually winning nearly 70% of their home games against National League opponents. Of course, we could see more of the same with Mike Burrows on the hill, averaging over a strikeout an inning, ERA in the 3s. Now, 3 out of the Bucs' last 4 at PNC Park did stay under the total. I like Pittsburgh plus 1.5, under 8. A's, Nationals, 6:45 East. Washington's minus 135, totals 8.5. Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals, Luis Severino for the A's. And even though Severino's had his fair share of trouble this season, the A's did get the W in his last 3 straight starts, playing some pretty good baseball over the past couple of weeks. The A's have gone 7-3 in their last 10, and they actually averaged over 5.4 runs a game during that time frame. Brent Rooker with 23 homers, OPS of 836. And Nicholas Kurtz, he has slammed 23 bombs himself with an OPS in the thousands. And they're going to face Mackenzie Gore, who actually comes into today's start with 11 losses on the year. It's a 4-11 record despite a whole lot of strikeouts. Of course, as a team, the Nats lost their last 5 straight. And, well, they allowed an absurd amount of runs during that short time frame. Washington gave up 54 total runs in their last 5 outings. Now, 3 out of Washington's last 4 at Nationals Park did get over the total. 60% to the over in their last 10 at any location. I like the Athletics plus $1.15, over 8.5. Orioles, Phillies, 6:45 East. Philadelphia's minus 135, totals 9. Taijuan Walker for the Phils, Dean Kremer for Baltimore. And Kremer comes into today's game with a 4.27 ERA. Baltimore pitching has been pretty brutal for most of the season. They allowed 13 runs to the Phils just last night, bottom 5 in runs allowed per contest. And they're facing a Phillies lineup who averages 5.1 runs a game at the bank, top 10 hit-producing lineup. Kyle Schwarber, 40 home runs, 94 RBI. Currently leads the league in that RBI category. Trey Turner with 25 stolen bases, on-base percentage of .335. Of course, as a team, the Phils are now 36-20 on their own diamond. And 3 out of the Phils' last 4 at the bank did get over the total. 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, Baltimore games went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I like the Phillies minus 135, over 9. Guardians, Mets, 7:10 Eastern start. New York's minus 165, totals 9. Clay Holmes for New York, Logan Allen for the Guardians. Now, Allen's 1 loss shy of double digits, just a 7-9 record on the year. And a lot of the Guardians' problems have been at the plate. Cleveland averages just 7.4 hits a game in the box. And they're facing a Mets pitching staff who's definitely been tough to hit against at Citi Field. They allowed just 3.7 runs a game in Flushing, Queens. And Clay Holmes has definitely been a solid contributor to that. 9 wins on the year, ERA of .345. Now, New York's interleague games have gone 22-15 to the under this year. Cleveland with unders in 60% of their contests on the road. I like the Mets minus 1.5, under 9. All right, Royals, Red Sox, 7:10 Eastern start. Boston's minus 245, totals 8.5. Garrett Crochet for the Red Sox, Ryan Bergert for Kansas City. Now, Bergert's got a .278 ERA this year, 1.18 whip. Put in some really good innings with the Padres earlier in the year. He's definitely a good addition to a Royals staff who has been fairly tough to hit against on the road. The Royals limit opposing sluggers to just 3.7 runs a game away from Kauffman Stadium. And they're facing a Boston lineup who does struggle a bit making contact. They're fanning nearly double-digit times a game at the plate. When it comes to the run line, the Red Sox do have a losing record against the number at home against American League opponents. Now, 5 out of the Bo Sox, the last 7 at Fenway did stay under the number, 60% to the under in their last 10 at any location. Give me the Royals plus 1.5, under 8.5 runs. All right, Brewers, Braves, 7:15 East. Milwaukee's minus 145, totals 8. Freddie Peralta for the Brewers, Joey Wentz for Atlanta. And even though Wentz is new to the Braves, he does come into today's start with a cumulative ERA in the 5s. Atlanta with losses in 7 out of their last 10 contests. Of course, as a staff, the Braves have definitely had some control issues. They're currently in the bottom 10 in walks per game. And they're facing a Brewer club who's been destroying the baseball on the road. Double-digit hits a game in their travels. League leaders in runs per contest away from home. Christian Yelich, 21 homers, 73 RBI. Sal Frelick, 17 stolen bases, and an on-base percentage of .353. Now, 3 out of the Brewers' last 4 road games did get over the total. 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Atlanta contest went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I like the Brewers minus 145, over 8. Reds, Cubs, 8:05 East. Chicago's $1.80, total 7.5. Shota Imanaga for the Cubs. Zach Littell for Cincinnati. And Littell recorded 8 wins with the Rays this season. Did a nice job on the hill in Tampa this year. Of course, when it comes to the run line, the Reds have covered in 6 out of their last 10 games. They've got a winning record against the number in all of their road games. And a lot of that's on the bats, since he is in the top 5 in the National League in runs per game on the road. Ellie De La Cruz leads the lineup in homers, ribbies, and stolen bases. TJ Friedl with an on-base percentage in the high 300s. And they're facing a Cubbies pitching staff who hasn't particularly racked up the strikeouts. Matter of fact, the Cubs are in the bottom 5 in strikeouts per 9 on the mound. When it comes to the number, the Cubbies failed to cover the run line in 3 out of their last 4 at Wrigley. Just 3 and 7 against the run line in their last 10 at any location. Now, total-wise, Cubbies games went 60% to the over in their last 10. I like the Reds plus 1.5, over 7.5 runs. Yankees, Rangers, 8:05 East. Texas is minus $1.25, totals 8. Nathan Eovaldi for the Rangers. Will Warren for New York. Yankees with overs in 3 out of their last 4 on the road. 7-3 to the over in their last 10 at any location. Meanwhile, the Rangers saw overs in their last 3 straight at Globe Life Field. 8-2 to the over in their last 10 at any location. And out of these teams' last 10 head-to-head gatherings, well, both squads averaged nearly double-digit hits a game at the plate. No problems for either team hitting the baseball. Adolis Garcia leads the Rangers in runs batted in. Corey Seager with an OPS of .834. Meanwhile, the Yankees on the other side, well, their lineup averages 5.2 runs a game. Give me the over 8 runs. Blue Jays, Rockies, 8:40 East. Toronto's minus 240, totals 11. Jose Barrios for the Blue Jays. Anthony Molina for Colorado. And even though the Rockies collectively haven't been great at the dish, they actually have done a nice job against Toronto pitching recently. They've averaged nearly 11 hits a game in their last 10 head-to-head meetings with the Blue Jays. 6 runs per contest during that stretch. And at the plate, the Rockies do tend to hit well at Coors Field. They're averaging nearly double-digit hits a game in Denver. And for some reason, the Blue Jays really don't pitch well away from Rogers Center. They're in the bottom 10 in runs allowed on the road. Of course, no real surprise, the Blue Jays do have a losing record in their away games. 6 out of Toronto's last 7 on the road did get over the total. Rockies games went 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Give me Colorado plus 1.5 over 11. Rays, Angels, 938 East. LA's minus -1.25, totals 8. Jose Soriano for the Angels, Ryan Pepio for Tampa Bay. Now, Pepio's just 6-9 on the year. Rays with overs in 6 out of their last 10 gatherings with the Angels. Meanwhile, Angel games on the other side went 60% to the over in their last 10 themselves. Of course, 60% of their home games this year also got over the line. I like the over 8 runs. White Sox, Mariners, 9:40 Eastern start. Seattle's minus 250, totals 8. Brian Wu for the Mariners. Davis Martin for Chicago. Now, Martin's just 3-8 on the year. Chicago just 18-38 in their travels. And a lot of that's on the bats. The White Sox are a bottom 5 run-scoring team, averaging just 2.4 runs a game in their last 10 contests against Seattle. So if you're into historical trends, certainly want to think about that one there. And T-Mobile Park's definitely been a tough place to hit it. It's been a tough place to hit at. The Mariners limit opposing batters to just 7.7 hits a game in their own stadium. The starting pitcher, Brian Wu, well, he's been no exception to that. 127 strikeouts, whip of just .97. Of course, Mariner games went 7-3 to the under in their last 10. White Sox with unders in 63% of their road games. Give me the Mariners minus 1.5, under 8. Padres, Diamondbacks, 940 East. San Diego's $1.35, totals 9. Ryan Nelson for the Diamondbacks. Yu Darvish for San Diego. Darvish with just 1 win on the year and an ERA of 6.46. And as a team, the Pods are winning just 40% of their divisional road games. They've definitely struggled with command in their travels. San Diego's in the bottom 5 in walks per game on the road. They're facing an Arizona team who definitely walks a bunch at the dish themselves. They're a top 5 run-scoring team at home in the National League. Ketel Marte, 21 homers, OPS of 943. Corbin Carroll, 22 home runs, OPS in the high 800s. Of course, as a team, the Diamondbacks have a 600 win percentage in their divisional home games. Give me the D-backs plus $1.15, over 9. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our next and final breakdown for the video. Cardinals, Dodgers, 10:10 Eastern start. The Dodgers are minus $1.90, totals 9 runs. Emmett Sheehan for Los Angeles, Miles Mikolas for St. Louis. The Mikolas is just 6-8 with an ERA close to 5. And as a team, the Cards dropped 6 out of their last 9 games, .350 win percentage in their road games against National League opponents. And a big problem in those road games for St. Louis, it's been their pitching. They're in the bottom 3 in hits allowed in their travels. And unfortunately for them, LA's pounded the baseball at Dodger Stadium this year. They're averaging 6 runs a game in front of their own crowd. Shohei Ohtani, 38 homers, 73 runs batted in. Will Smith, OPS of 956. The Dodgers are currently winning 64% of their home games against National League opponents. I like the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 9. And with that, folks, now it's time for our quick pick recap. Give me the Astros plus $1, under 9. Tigers minus 140, under 9 runs. We're 6-0 in our last 6 chairman plays on my premium page. Pirates plus 1.5, under 8. Athletics plus $1.15, over 8.5. Phillies minus 135, over 9. Mets minus 1.5, under 9 runs. Kansas City plus 1.5, under 8.5. Milwaukee minus 145, over 8. Cincinnati plus 1.5, over 7.5 runs. I like the over 8 in that Yankees-Rangers matchup. Rockies plus 1.5, over 11. I like the over 8 in that Rays-Angels matchup. Mariners minus 1.5, under 8. Diamondbacks plus $1.15, over 9. Give me the Dodgers minus 1.5, over 9 runs. And with that, folks, That's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. But most importantly, gotta thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Tuesday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page.